Hello everyone and welcome back to another biblical story video. Creation of Adam and Eve. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void. On the sixth day of creation, God made man. He formed Adam from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and Adam became a living being. God planted a beautiful garden in Eden, an idyllic paradise filled with lush trees, vibrant flowers, and rivers. He placed Adam in this Garden of Eden to tend and keep it. The garden was abundant, and in the middle stood two significant trees, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. God gave Adam a command, saying, "You may eat freely from every tree in the garden, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat of it you shall surely die." Despite the richness of the garden, God saw that it was not good for Adam to be alone. He decided to create a companion for him. God caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep, and while he slept, God took one of Adam's ribs and from it fashioned a woman. When Adam awoke and saw Eve, he recognized her as bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She was to be called woman, for she was taken out of man. Adam and Eve were naked and felt no shame. They lived in harmony with one another and with the world around them, enjoying a perfect relationship with God. The temptation. One day, the serpent, more cunning than any other beast of the field that God had made, approached Eve. The serpent questioned her about the commandment God had given. "Did God really say, 'You shall not eat of any tree in the garden'?" he asked. Eve responded that they could eat the fruit of the trees in the garden except for the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which God had commanded them not to eat or touch, lest they die. The serpent replied, "You will not surely die. For God knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." Eve looked at the fruit and saw that it was good for food, pleasing to the eye, and desirable for gaining wisdom. She took some of the fruit and ate it. Then she gave some to Adam, who was with her, and he ate it as well. The fall. Immediately after eating the fruit, Adam and Eve's eyes were opened, and they realized they were naked. They felt shame and sewed fig leaves together to make themselves loincloths. They heard the sound of God walking in the garden in the cool of the day and hid themselves among the trees. God called to Adam, "Where are you?" Adam replied, "I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid myself." God asked Adam how he knew he was naked and if he had eaten from the tree he commanded him not to eat from. Adam said, "The woman whom you gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I ate." God turned to Eve and asked, "What is this you have done?" Eve answered, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." The consequences. God then pronounced judgment. He said to the serpent, "Because you have done this, you are cursed more than all cattle and more than every beast of the field, on your belly you shall go, and you shall eat dust all the days of your life. I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed, he shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel." To Eve, God said, "I will greatly multiply your sorrow and your conception, in pain you shall bring forth children. Your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you." To Adam, God said, "Because you have heeded the voice of your wife and have eaten from the tree of which I commanded you, saying, 'You shall not eat of it,' cursed is the ground for your sake, in toil you shall eat of it all the days of your life. Both thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for you, and you shall eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of your face you shall eat bread till you return to the ground, for out of it you were taken, for dust you are, and to dust you shall return." Expulsion from Eden. Adam named his wife Eve because she was the mother of all living. The Lord God made tunics of skin for Adam and Eve and clothed them. Then God said, "Behold, the man has become like one of us, to know good and evil. And now, lest he put out his hand and take also of the tree of life, and eat, and live forever, therefore, the Lord God sent Adam and Eve out of the Garden of Eden to till the ground from which they were taken. God placed cherubim and a flaming sword that turned every way to guard the way to the tree of life, ensuring that Adam and Eve could not return to the garden. Thus, Adam and Eve began their life outside the garden, experiencing the hardships and toil that came as a result of their disobedience, while the Garden of Eden remained a place of lost paradise.